Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Andrew Brooks, and in this video we're going to be celebrating an unusual Wings 50th anniversary. Thank you very much for joining me on my YouTube channel. Big hello and a big thank you to all the new subscribers. And if you're not a subscriber, why not? All you need to do is just click the link down here and you'll hear of any new videos. Thank you for all the remarks and the comments. You can leave them down below. And I do read every single one, and I do respond to the ones that need responding to. Now, as I said in the intro, we are going to be looking at an obscure Wings album that's celebrating its 50th anniversary this year, in 2024, just in case you're watching it from in the future. Anyway, yeah, 2024 Wings album celebrating its 50th anniversary. And no, I don't mean Band on the Run. And no, I don't mean Venus and Mars. There was an album that slotted very nicely in between the two. Now, although it wasn't released under the Wings name, it does form part of the sort of category of unknown Wings albums. And I have actually covered this in a video a little while back, but I just thought I'd look in depth into one of these albums this time. As I say, I have made a video about all of the obscure Wings albums, and if you haven't checked it out, just click this link up here. It will take you to that video after this one. So you get to watch this one, and then it will pop up at the end of this one for you to watch. Okay, so let's go back in time, back to the early 70s, and let's go back to when Paul, Linda, and Denny were, going to fly out to Lagos in Nigeria to record what was Band on the Run. Now, they were in the studio along with Denny Sywell with Paul's brother, Mike. And they recorded a track called Leave It. And now, Mike's younger brother, or to give him his full name, Peter Michael McCartney, was a member of sort of like a music, sort of comedy music, serious music as well. But they were humorous songs in a group called The Scaffold. Now, they had a handful of hits such as Lily the Pink and Thank You Very Much and Liverpool Lou. After leaving Scaffold, Mike then became a member of a music poetry group called Grimm's, but he did have a falling out with one of the other members of the group and subsequently left. After leaving the Scaffold and the Grimm's, Mike McCartney sort of in musical limbo, and Paul, being the good brother, wrote him a song called Leave It, and he said, we'll record this and hopefully it will jumpstart his musical career. So on the 26th of April 1973, Paul and Linda, Denny Lane, Denny Sywell and Mike McCartney went into Abbey Road Studios, and they did actually record Leave It. And obviously Paul was thinking of this jumpstart for Mike's musical career. So he got in touch with his in-laws, that's John and Lee Eastman, so that's his brother-in-law and his father-in-law, to see if they could help get this issued as a single. And funny enough, it was it was snapped up by Warner Brothers, who had also, as well as signing Mike, they'd also got Badfinger from Apple. And I wonder if they were kind of thinking, McCartney's coming to the end of his EMI contract. Maybe if we, get these on board, then we can sweeten the deal and get him on board. But anyway, Paul took it to the Eastmans, and they liked it so much that they actually suggested, I'll tell you what, don't issue it as a single just yet, keep it and record some more for an album. Now, as history dictates, and we know that Denny Sywell left the band before they went to Lagos in Nigeria to record Band on the Run. So after the return from Lagos, Paul, Linda and Denny Lane, they came back and then went into the studio with Mike McCartney. Again, they were the core trio along with Mike, but they had recruited a new young guitarist, Jimmy McCulloch. So he was along for the ride as well. And in the month of January 1974, the recording session started. Mike McCartney, Paul McCartney, Linda McCartney, Denny Lane, and joined by Jimmy McCulloch, went into the studio, and they were joined with Jerry Conway on drums, Brian Jones on sax, and Paddy Maloney on alien pipes. Now, Paddy Maloney, you may or may not know, was in the studio recording Rain Clouds when Paul got it was the day Paul got the news of John's death, and he wasn't sure whether or not the recording session would go ahead. But anyway, that's a story for another day. So yeah, Paul and Paddy Maloney, they obviously go back quite a way, and they all assembled themselves at Strawberry Studios in Stockport. So Strawberry Studios was set up and founded in 1968 by Peter Tattersall, who had been a roadie with Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas back in the 60s. So obviously Paul knew him. And Eric Stewart, the guitarist and singer for the Mindbenders, and also latterly founder member of 10cc. The sessions for the Mcgear album, as it was later to be called, began on the 3rd of January 1974, and the recording schedule was a little unusual, to say the least, for a small studio. They usually started about 4 p.m. and went on through the night to 5 a.m. Peter Tattersall said of the sessions, there's a quote or a little interview with him in Club Sandwich #1. So he said, "There wasn't a clock in the whole place. Usually it was just college groups making a demo, and it was such a pleasure to work with someone as professional as Paul." He then went on, "And I remember one night Denny picking up his guitar and started playing some Buddy Holly numbers. And then he added, there was a strange number that we did off of the Roxy Music album. Paul had brought the album into the studios and said, right, we're going to do this one. I'd never heard anything like it. Paul was setting down the basic track, but it just didn't sound quite right to me. But he has the ability to look ahead, and there's a big orchestration backing on it and a completely new bass sound." The songs that were created in those sessions were, as aforementioned, the Brian Ferry song "Sea Breezes," which was recorded by Roxy Music. You've got "What Do We Really Know," Norton, "Have You Got Problems," Rainbow, "Simply Love You," "Giving Grease a Ride," "The Man Who Found God on the Moon," and "Dance the Do." Now, they were all written by Paul and Mike, collaborations together. Fantastic, eh? Obviously, we had "Leave It" and "Sweet Baby" were both written by Paul and Mike, but they were issued on a single, and they were the original two songs that were recorded back in 1973. Also recorded were 10 Years On After Strawberry Jam, which was written by Paul and Linda, and that was the B-side of Liverpool Lou. Also, we had "I'll Give You a Ring." Now, this is obviously was issued as a B-side to take it away in 1983, but Paul had obviously had this in his mind and had been working on it since all these, for all those years. "Dance the Do" was issued as a single in 1975. Also, there was a short radio jingle recorded called "Hello Piccadilly," and it was played on Piccadilly Radio just for one day, apparently. The album was released on the 24th of September 1974, and it came in a gatefold sleeve and included a gatefold insert. The album cover depicts Mike as sort of a Gulliver style character, surrounded by the Lilliputians, the little people, and included in the tiny people, if you look carefully on the front cover, are all the people involved in the album, the band, the Peter and Eric from the studios. There's a young Paul and Mike in an aeroplane. There's Paul and Mike's parents, Jim and Mary, there holding a baby, which I'm guessing is probably Mike. Linda's there riding a horse. And if you look carefully, you can see Paul peering out of the cover at you. This hard-to-find album did actually get a CD release in 1992, and it did include two bonus tracks, "Dance the Do," which has a different mix to the single, and also the B-side of the "Leave It" single, "Sweet Baby." Then in 2019, it finally got remastered and re-released as a double album this time. It came out on the Cherry Red's Esoteric Records label. And well, here's a copy of it here. I do have the original one as well, so you can compare. And I'll try not to get the glare on them. There we are. Disc 1 is the same as the 92 issue, with the second disc containing 20 sort of tracks of alternate takes, outtakes, and a few other material recorded by Mike, sort of from 74 to 1980. Some only lasted a few seconds, such as Paddy's pipes and Viv Stanshall sings, all the way up to full songs, some of which don't even appear on the original album. So, as I said, it was just a video just to celebrate Mcgear's 50th anniversary. Happy birthday, the Mcgear album. And also, obviously, happy birthday to the obscure Wings albums. Now, I'm sure lots of Beatles Wings fans do know of this, but you'll be surprised the amount of people outside of the sort of, Beatles sphere who probably didn't even know that Mike McGear had an album. Well, he had several, but this one, and probably didn't even know that Paul McCartney and Wings were on it. Now, I really love this album. I really enjoy listening to it, and I think it fits really well, sort of in between Band on the Run and Venus and Mars in the Wings discography. And to me, it really is an unknown Wings album, which, really does deserve to be in the Wings catalogue. Anyway, why don't you let me know what you think of this album? Oh, and everyone else who reads the comments. Just leave a comment below. I do read everyone, as I said. And anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.